What's going on, everybody? This is Clark Beckham. You're watching the Idol Breakdown. I'm your host, former runner-up of American Idol, and we go from 7 to 5. Final 5, which is insane. We are very close. The finale is next week. Let's get started with Gabby. Gabby sings a song that I actually, just if there are tomatoes that could come through the screen, I might get tomatoes thrown at me when I say this, but I don't like the song. Never have. And then I heard Gabby sing it, and I'm like, this is a pretty good song. This is a pretty good song. Now, this says a lot because I was talking to my grandmother last night, and she's like, you know, what really makes a difference is when someone sings the song and then they own it from then on. Like, that's the only person you can imagine singing that song. And for me, when I think of that song, I'm actually going to think of Gabby because she did it better than I've ever heard that song. Now, I will say, I think it was a really difficult song with not a lot of payoff. I know it's one of the most popular Disney songs in the past decade, but the payoff just wasn't enough for me. It didn't do enough to make that risk worth it. So yeah, she accomplished it. There were some pitch issues here and there in the verses. It's an incredibly difficult song because the intervals are substantial and they're really fast. What I mean by intervals are the spaces between the notes. Big spaces. You got a note here, and then your next note is way over here, and it's fast. So like those intervals are gaping canyons that she has to jump back and forth from quickly, and she does a great job, all things considering. I don't think there's anyone else on the season that could have sung that as well as she did. But then she executed it, and then it was like, okay. I felt like the arrangement was a little contrived to try to be hype, and it happened too fast, and I just didn't jive with me as much as her second song, which was Home from The Wiz. This was a wow song. I felt like, okay, and this might be true, might not be true. She just learned the Moana song, and she's been singing Home since she was 5. That's what it felt like. She had a lot of compassion and passion for this song, had a lot of history with it, is what it seemed, and it just fit like a glove. This was one of my favorite performances from her, and unfortunately, we say goodbye to Gabby. I don't know why I don't think about who's going home next, but when it was 7 and they're like, only 5 are making, I'm like, who in the world? I thought Maddie was going to go home just because we know she was in the bottom last week and 2 people were going home. So the idea that she could jump 2 people in one show was unlikely, just statistically speaking. But the other one, I was like, who in the world is going to go home? And sad day. It was Gabby. I told you guys, it is not a safe place. She was my number 1. And it is not a safe place to be in Clark's number 1 in his top 10, because they usually go, and I honestly think that could happen again when I reveal to you. Am I going to reveal my top 5? I'm going to reveal my top 5 in this episode, and then, of course, in the next one. Let's move on to Jamal.
I'll be there someday.
Sing.
I can go the distance. I will find my way.
Jamal sings one of my favorite songs of all time, Go the Distance. I love this song so much. I almost sang this song on Idol. I was considering it. I was practicing it, had an arrangement and everything on movie week. And for me, just like Jamal, they're very big on what does this mean to you? What is the meaning of this song? And for me, I remember thinking, just like Jamal did, oh, well, this is my career, going the distance. I can't relate to wanting to go to Mount Olympus to meet my God Father, but I can relate to wanting to make it in this industry. And then I did it that way and was like, I don't know. Didn't hit me necessarily enough. And then I thought, what about if I sing it like Getting to Heaven? That seems pretty specific, and I'm sure there are a lot of lyrics that won't make any sense with that, but let's see. And then I started singing the song. I have often dreamed of a far off place. Okay, yeah, that checks out. where a hero's welcome would be waiting for me. Whoa, that hit home. I remember exactly where I was, what wall I was facing in the room where we were staying. I had this keyboard that I was practicing on, and I just started crying right there. Where the crowds will cheer when they see my face, and a voice keeps saying, this is where I'm meant to be. I was like, oh my gosh, it's perfect. So I wish Jamal would have made that connection, because I know he does gospel stuff. And if he made that connection of just like, let me just get to heaven, let me see God, that could have been. Yo, if Kanan was around and made that connection, and game over, dude. But it was wonderful. I will say I was missing the typical Jamal emotional connection that we're used to getting. I didn't have it as much. There was some really nice stuff there. The runs that he does when he closes his mouth, like when he doesn't just end it like, hey, or a bigger run, but just leaving it open. When he starts to come down and like just clinch down on the run, like, hey, like that kind of stuff where it's almost like it feels good to him. That stuff is powerful. And he did some of those that made my skin crawl in the best way. A Change Is Gonna Come was next. I gotta say, it felt like he was just kind of phoning it in. It felt like he was just going through the motions. He's done this song a million times. The song is perfect for his voice. He should sing this song like just an absolute monster. And he did, but I personally wasn't emotionally connected to what was happening. I didn't feel it. There's nothing wrong with it. There was no emotional response for me. And I wonder if he just kind of was like, oh, I can kill the song, let me just do what I do, instead of really putting himself in the song like he did on Heal. When he was singing Heal, he said, I don't know the song, but all I need to do is insert myself into the song. And then he did that and we all died. I don't think he inserted himself into the song. I think he just said, I know the song really well and I'm just gonna sing it. That's what it felt like to me. Brianna. She sang, man, great song choice with Reflection. The contestants had great song choices for Disney Week. Most of the time, I'm very disappointed at the song choices in past seasons when it comes to this theme, because it's such a rich theme. There's so many good things to do, and they had some great ones. Brianna picked one of the best in Reflection. Her falsetto's beautiful, and her belting is beautiful. When she first started to hit some of the higher notes in falsetto, I thought immediately, yes, great choice. You're going to give us the falsetto version of that note. And then when you come back around to it, to that section, that chorus, at the end, you're going to belt it and we're going to die. And she just actually kept falsetto on those notes, even when she came back around to it. And there were big belting moments, but there's a lot more falsetto than I thought. So I would have loved to have a couple of those falsetto notes turn into monster power belting notes. But overall, it was still beautiful. Every note that came out of her mouth was gorgeous. And her pitch, because we expect the right thing to happen when we hear a note, like we expect the right pitch. I think we sometimes forget how insanely difficult it is to be consistently accurate when we're belting and when we're singing those big notes. And Brianna is perfectly accurate. Her pitch when she belts is nuts. And she does a great, great, great performance here. And then she sings like my mother does. When I love, I give it all I've got, like my mother does. Another great song to sing on. She's got great song choices here. And again, last week I said it's almost like every song's a good choice because she's just singing them so well. But it's still what comes to mind. Like these songs are just really great for her, and her pitch accuracy is nuts. John. Almost there. I'm almost there. People around here think I'm crazy. John sings a Randy Newman song, which is, he's one of my favorite songwriters of all time. one of my most influential artists. John just makes everything work. He talks this song and the next one randomly throughout. And that is typically one of my pet peeves. It's usually, that's the one I'm usually rolling my eyes. I'm like, please sing. Stop talking. It's not cute. Stop. And I don't think that for a second when he does it. He does it. It just seems so natural. Doesn't seem corny at all. And he's just making everything work. His pitch is great. He's consistent. And he's singing well. Like, he's a good voice. It's not just the novelty country guy. Like, his voice is beautiful. And then his execution is 10 out of 10 every time in every single aspect. I think, what I've been told, he has the most views on YouTube comparatively. And I feel like he's probably the front runner. The second song he sang, great song that I forgot about, but this is one of the all-time great country songs of the past 20 years, 30 years, whenever it came out, till present day. Believe by Brooks and Dunn.
Lord, I raise my hands and I bow my head.
Really great song choice. The talk thing worked again. And he's singing there. There was a note in there that I remember going, oh, he is giving it to us. He's putting his foot in that note. And the other thing that really makes John work well on Idol is he's so personable. You see him crying next to his mom when his mom's like, I was made to be a mother and I'm so glad I'm his mother. And he's crying and I'm just like, God, please let me have a relationship like that with my kid. Like, that is so wholesome and it's so genuine and it's just makes you fall in love with the guy and just want the best for him. That's authentic and genuine. Now, on the strategic side of Idol, that is what makes people vote more than anyone's voice. You love someone's voice, that's going to make you like them to an extent. But when you fall in love with their personality and who they are and you're rooting for them, that's what makes the difference for not just people voting, but for a career. He's hitting a 10 out of 10 in every aspect. I did have an idea, not that he would have done it, but I did have an idea. That song is so pretty. There's a chord that he could have played that I think would have totally worked for him. I know he's not like jazz soul stuff, but it's country, but it feels so good if he did that chorus and came down. So the chorus originally goes, so I raise my hands, bow my head, finding more and more truth in the words written in red. So that second chord, da 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 da. If you just made that minor 7, if you just went like this instead, listen. I raise my hands, bow my head, finding more and more truth to the words written in red. And if you wanted to, which you probably wouldn't, but this could work. It totally could work. Even for the country, there's a cool key change that could happen right here. So if he goes, raise my hand, bow my head, I'm finding more and more truth to the words written in red. Right here. Tell me that there's more to life than just what I can see. I raise my hand. Now you're here. Bow my head. Finding more and more truth. The words written in red. Okay, now I'm getting a little soul jazz. But the key change itself and that one chord, probably the first time, not the second time, that minor five could be so sweet. Last thing on John, I love what he said when Lionel was like, what are you doing? He goes, I did what you told me to do on day one. You said find my voice, and that's what I've been trying to do. And it was so respectful. And I just guarantee everyone, like every adult, every father and grandfather, grandmother, mother, all of those people just went, what a good boy. That's a good kid right there. Just listening to his elders and doing what they say. And I just guarantee that won him so many brownie points to major demographics of the American Idol viewers. Just a very wholesome moment. I I wish, probably can't happen. I mean, it could, but I wish so much that I could just have a job on Idol arranging songs for contestants. That would be so fun for me. I do that here and there, and I want to start doing it more. If you're about to audition for American Idol, if you're even thinking about it, or if you're just wanting to have a different arrangement of a song or just help on chords of a song you wrote, anything like that. I love taking chords and making key changes, doing stuff like this. So I've got lessons you can book with me. I've got online courses that you can learn all this stuff yourself. The Music Theory 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1 is for people who've never touched piano before. 2 is for somebody who wants to know what a major 9 chord is and who doesn't already. 3 is for passing chords, and which is how I got that key change to work. And 4 is substitution chords, which is how I made that minor 5, 7 sound. That's a substitution because I'm playing that chord instead of the original. Slater. Slater sings Lion King. He sings Can You Feel the Love Tonight? He did this really well. He missed the very first line, which I don't really care about. He held on really well. He stayed focused. There was never a part of his, you could look in his eyes and see there was never panic. It was, hold on, where am I? Here it is. What's the next line? There. And he fixed it, which is exactly what you have to do in that scenario. Many things could have happened at that point. He could have forgotten the first line. He could have had an ear issue with the in-ears, the monitors. So they have little, you see these things in there, fancy, very expensive earbuds that go in there, and that's how they hear themselves singing, the band, the track, the click, the guide, if there's a guide, anything like that. When I was on the show, when they're setting you up, they're like, are you good? Are you good to go? And sometimes you don't hear noise right away. It comes on a little delayed. One time I was singing Superstition, and I start out playing and singing by myself. And it was on electric guitar too. So I can't hear it unless it's coming through my ears. And I was hearing nothing. And they said, okay, ready and go. And the cameras came up, lights, everything. And I still couldn't hear a thing. And I just started and guessed on the key. And thank goodness I was right. So something like that could have happened to him as well. We don't know. Again, don't really care because he got past it and kept going. Really, really nice. He's singing this song. Sometimes he gets in the habit of singing a song that's a nice song and he just sings it correctly and doesn't really do anything for us like last week. This is not one of those cases. This is when he takes a song and, like my grandmother says, owns it. Now it feels like it's his song. I mean, it will always be Elton John's song. But that version feels like totally his. And I feel like no one else could do it that way. Even though I'm sure someone could, it gives you that feeling that nobody can do it like Slater. And he gave us that feeling and really made himself stand out here. Slater is very, very dangerous in this show. Next song he does is If You Don't Know By Now, I think is what it was called.
Saying you treated me unkind. Could it break it down?
Hey!
Look out your window and I'll be gone.
Sing. Another great song choice. And he did a run. And it was clean. And I have so many thoughts about it because it was the pentatonic run that I make fun of everybody for doing. But it's the first time he's done it in the whole season, and he did it one time. And it was perfectly placed. And because we weren't expecting it, and he did the whole song without runs, and then one spot in the song, it just felt so right to do it. And then he did it, and it was right to do. It felt amazing. It was the 6, 5, 3, 2, 1 pentatonic run. Hey!
Break it down. Look out your...
This was great. This was great from Slater. If you don't want to do the one-on-one with me, or if it's outside of your budget, I have a lot of options for every budget. I have an evaluation where you can just send me your audition video or send me the song you're thinking to audition, or send me anything really of you singing, even if you're not auditioning for American Idol. And then I will do one of these videos. It won't be 30 minutes long. It'll be probably usually between 5 to 7 or 8 minutes. But it'll be me giving you constructive criticism pretty much what I do for Idol, except pointed straight at you with some tips and things that I think you could do to improve. I love doing that stuff too. Just email me and put evaluation in the subject line. And then the final option is I have online courses in music theory, which we talked about, and then in vocal foundations, which I think every singer, no matter what level, should watch this and should get this, because there are things that will help your voice immediately, and they're specifically the things that I've never seen other teachers teach, and most singers that I know, professionally and amateur, don't do and don't know about. And if you get any of these online courses, or get even an evaluation video from me, or even a lesson with me or a coaching with me, and you're not thrilled and hype and noticeably better than you were before, then I will give you your money back. No questions asked. Let's talk about Maddie. Maddie sang Remember Me. Another beautiful, beautiful performance that showed me a song that I didn't know that I loved. I've heard the song before and I've been like, yeah, okay, that's not a bad song. Then I hear her sing it and I'm like, oh my goodness, what is this song? She owns it. She takes ownership of this song. Her falsetto is beautiful. Her falsetto is really nice and resonant, which is another thing that I think is harder than people think, unless you've tried it yourself. And on top of that, having really good pitch with that is very impressive. The falsetto part of your voice can get a little squirrely as far as going sharp or flat and staying in the center, and she always stays right in the center of the pitch. This was awesome. This was my favorite performance from the whole season of her. And then her mother song. I loved that it was about her mom and her stepmom, and then she looked over and smiled. And when she's looking over and she's smiling and singing it to them, you can see in that moment that her relationship with her mom and stepmom, that relationship is more important than what's going on American Idol. And that is when the stars align and fireworks go off and we fall in love. When you can mean what you're singing, and what you're singing is more important to you than the stakes of the show, all of a sudden we're out of a show and we're in this like spiritual, ultra-dimensional, glorious place with you and the reality of your life and your relationships and what matters to you. Because guess what? Those relationships and those things in our lives and all of our lives are so much more valuable than TV shows. And we all know that. So when we're watching a TV show, this might sound kind of meta, but when we're watching a TV show and we see someone leave the TV show, we also get to leave there with them. And it just offers something that the best of the best of the best of a TV show can't do. Because they're offering like this element of what our hearts really beat for, which is other people and emotion. I hope everybody followed on that rabbit trail, but this was great. They defined sass for her and me because I needed it. And apparently, sass is just telling the story. I mean, ultimately, yeah. If you're singing a song that is what most people think sassy is, if you're singing a song like, I dug my key into the side of his pretty little souped up four-wheel drive, and then you're genuinely, to tell the story, you'd need to have a bad attitude. I think that's what usually people think sass is a bad attitude. But in this case, obviously, that wouldn't make any sense. So I guess sass just means telling the story. I don't think that's what sass means, but whatever. I've got the link in the description for the courses. If you want to actually book like a arrangement session, you can email me at lessons@clarkbeckham.com. And I'd love to talk shop with you and find some cool, saucy things. Thunderstorm.
Don't ever hear the wolf cry to the blue corn moon. Whether we white or copper skin.
Thunderstorm sang one of my favorite songs, one of my favorite movies. People sleep on Pocahontas songs, dude. And it was funny because I agree with the mentor when he said, don't smile in the beginning, because the beginning is kind of accusatory. And then he goes, and then open up. And Thunderstorm, the good old guy he is, he just can't help but smile. And you can see it the whole first verse. He goes to smile and stops himself, which good for him for really trying. But he just can't help it. And those of you who've been with me for a while, you probably remember this concept with Fritz. And it did not go over well. People did not agree. But it's just trying to tell the story. So in the beginning, it's saying you think you own whatever land that you land on. And that shouldn't be smiley. Singing on American Idol is something to smile about. But we're not trying to sing on American Idol. We're trying to be convinced, not that you're singing on American Idol. We're trying to be convinced that you are deeply convicted about the land in which you live on, and there are people coming to take advantage of it. That's what we want to be convinced of. And for you to not smile, you have to be convinced of that too. Or else we'll get what we got, which was Thunderstorm creeping a smile up and then remembering don't smile and then like shutting it down as fast as he could, which was kind of endearing. But he could go to another level, I think, if he really connected emotionally and let that dictate what he did with his face. We're getting really picky with Thunderstorm because we kind of have to because he does so great. But that being said, I thought this would go better than it did. I thought I would like the song better than I ended up liking it. And I want to say it's because there was too much band in there. Maybe it shouldn't have tried to get big and crazy, and if it would have just been him and acoustic guitar, I think that could have worked. It sounded better in the mentor session. Wasn't crazy about this one. Wasn't bad by any means, but I just hearing it in the mentor session, I was like, this is gonna be gorgeous. And then it was just good. And then the song about his wife, Faith. Was of course a smash. Right when he said I'm doing an original, I'm like, oh, perfect. Definitely do that. This is what we know about Thunderstorm. He is an artist more than probably any other contestant. He has a lot more going for him to be an artist, to be successful than most. And what I mean, I'm not saying there's no one else that could be an artist, like have a career as this. I'm just saying he's already there and he can write all of his own stuff. And we already know they're really good. Lionel said something like, if you can sing well and you write really well, like there you go. That's really what you need and all you need. And that's what Thunderstorm is. And I agree with that idea. We say goodbye to Maddie and Gabby. I think Maddie could not have gone out better. And really, it doesn't make that big of a difference if you get cut right now or if you get cut next week as even the winner. Everybody gets cut. The winner gets cut. The TV show ends and you're not on American Idol anymore. The show's over. They start over next season. Everybody gets cut. So whether you get cut on May 11th or May 20th or whenever the finale is, doesn't really make that big of a difference because you're getting the same exposure. So I can't imagine a better exit for Maddie. I can't imagine a better experience and way this went for her. I'm sad for Gabby just because I want to hear her sing like, I don't know. I feel like Gabby picked the perfect song like twice, 2 or 3 times. And when she did, nobody could touch her. And the idea of that happening every week, that would have just been insane. Now, no one's perfect every week, but I'm going to miss both of them. They do another plug for auditioning for American Idol, which I obviously think is a great idea. Even if you don't make it at all, it's a great idea to try. The risk is really low. And the reward is really high, and it's various too. It's not just the reward if you win or just get top 10. It's an amazing reward to just go to Hollywood Week and meet all these people and fly there and have that experience, even if you don't even get televised. I would do the whole show over again for fun, even if it wasn't televised, just to meet people and play with the band. Okay, my top 5, let's talk about them. Number 1 is gonna be Jamal, which, again, that's not where you want to be because trends say that my favorite person goes home, especially in this part of the show. Number 2 is Thunderstorm. Number 3 behind Thunderstorm is Brianna. And then we have Slater. And rounding it out is John. I, with all my heart, believe any one of these people could win. And I also, with all my heart, have absolutely no idea who's going to go home next. It's like we've run out of people that could possibly go home, but someone's got to go home. So we'll have to see. If you are going to audition, I would love to coach you myself. I've coached contestants in the past. Josh King, contestant this season. Now, he hit me up after he knew he was going to Hollywood. He auditioned and got to Hollywood all by himself, but then we started working together in preparation for Hollywood Week. And I would love to help you in preparation for your audition and then just keep going. I coached Chase Beckham, my fellow Beckham, who won the show before he got to Hollywood Week. So I've been there myself. I've watched the show, obviously, for 4, 5, 6 years. And I've coached contestants, and I have a lot of contacts there. So if you're going to put in an audition, you want to make it the best it can possibly be. Not just your voice to be the best it can, but the song choice, maybe a better arrangement. Any type of coaching that you get is going to be helpful for you, even if it's not me. But I would love for it to be me. So email me at lessons@clarkbeckham.com. and put in audition coaching in the subject line, and we'll get something booked. Reminder, we are not doing live streams anymore. It's just this premiere, and of course, just the video itself. If you have questions for me, just comment them, and I'll go back and answer as many as I can. Otherwise, I'll see you Friday. We are almost done. We are almost there. See you guys next time.